Yeah, I'm starting to let people get in so we can talk about this.
What's the deal?
What going on?
Nothing much, man. I've been following your career, and it's funny that you say that. I say it's funny that you talking about this puppy situation,
Right.
and I got that album that you on my on my phone right now as we speak. But I want to say this. Most of the time when I was a kid, and I actually liked Bad Boy at that time, and it was in my younger days, I used to always pay attention when I used to open up those CDs, and I used to see, and I used to look at who was producing, who was getting the publishing, who was doing all of this, right? All that time, all that publishing was going to his kids, right? So what he did was he leveraged himself in using that publishing by putting his kids through school. And by him being in being in business, there's a lot of tax loops and loopholes that you can get through by using that publishing to put them through school, because according to school, that's something state or whatever federal, and he was actually getting tax breaks and incentives. So all the artists that he ever had, we talking about, even we heard Styles P talk about this maybe about a year or two ago. He kept asking who can he get in touch with to get his publishing back, and it was always a constant runaround. He was using that, and he held down that publishing to put all his kids through school and other business adventures to fund those. That's why he's giving the publishing back, bro.
See, with Puff had did a deal. See, when you got publishing like that with Puff, you can go to a company, they'll give you $50 million. They give you 40. Now, that deal was just up. So the reason why he couldn't give back the publishing a long time ago, because he was already actively in a deal that he already borrowed money against it. So I can't give them their publishing back because I don't own it right now. So when he got ownership back of it, then he slid it back to everybody. But before, he already made a deal. So when you look at Puff and you see him out doing what he's doing, only thing he did was just get a deal against everybody publishing. But
and see, and I always remember this, and I want to say this, and most people, I know you believe in God, and so do I. When white supremacy is done using you, it breaks its tools. So whatever that he was doing, or whatever they let him wring everything dry. And now, like you said about the whole liquor deal, they're never ever gonna. There's a ceiling that he has to reach, and we got to understand that culturally, Cam. Let me tell you something. I work for a liquor industry. They've been around. I'm not gonna say the name, but they will not let anybody come in to even say a word until you've been in that room for over 10 years.
Famous.
So it's like, so let me tell you something. All of them deals failing, they're without for a good reason.
Yeah.
A lot of times
they all failing because what happens is, man, when you look at, let me give y'all a story one time when I went over the dude who owned Home Depot house. He owned Home Depot, and he owned the other record store when we used to get all this equipment from. They closed, but he owned it. And his house was like $20 million, $50 million. It was out there in Florida. And we went there to do, you remember when Puff and Baby did the video, Puff was in the pool on the jet ski. That was Dude's house. Dude was so rich, and his house was so nice. When we walked in the house, you could see Puff didn't like it, right? Because it makes him realize that no matter how much money he got, he really don't have a lot of money. He may be rich to us, but when you start looking at Ciroc and all of those companies that he want to deal with, his money and his image means nothing to them. And then let me give y'all another one. He over there trying to do the weed, and he got Ciroc. Ciroc feeling some kind of way about him trying to get involved in weed. And through the grapevine, I heard also because he was dating the city girl.
See, what you got to understand is, even though you in the top of your game as far as branding, you still got to watch what you do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might see me on here, I got my followers, but there's a certain limitation that I have to move in such a way, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to get those opportunities. As I watched this whole thing play out, it hurt my heart to see somebody like Black Rob, right, who was one of his artists who put Bad Boy on his back, along with you, especially on that Puff Daddy and the Family album, which, I know you wrote majority of, and Black Rob wrote majority of. because he didn't have nobody. He didn't have no good relationship with the locks and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? All of the dudes that put in the work, he already kind of, you know what I'm saying, smashed the relationship with.
This is something that, you know, I don't let it affect me, but this is a good one right here. When Rob was in Atlanta, I keep saying to him, you know, like the people, you know, when Rob was here in Atlanta, Rob would always want to get near me and never want to go nowhere. So he was here in Atlanta. He was going through dialysis. I was taking him back and forth to dialysis, picking him
Right.
up, dropping him off. And so when Rob was here, Rob died holding my hand. He died holding my hand. I was the last person to hold his hand when he died. I was at the hospital, everything. You know, they putting out a Black Rob album. Do you think they come and say, Mark Curry, can we get you on the album? So like when I look at anything they put together, Black Rob album wise, if I'm not on it, it's not really an album, because they're only doing it to make money. It's like, yo, I understand you want to make money, but I'd be like, you know, Black Rob wasn't even signed to Bad Boy when he died. He was signed to a whole nother record label.
Dug down, I
But, you know,
believe.
they still running around talking about like you think Black Rob was still Bad Boy right now.
Man, that hurt my heart. That hurt my heart, man, because I'm like, damn, when everybody left, you know, that Puff Daddy album actually catapulted him. Loon, all y'all actually put in the creativity for it to actually catapult him to the stratosphere where he was at.
Yeah, what he
And then
did,
for him to leave his niggas behind.
Puff had put that album together, Bad Boy in the Family, in the P. Diddy in the Family, and he took that album. When he had a deal, I think it was with Universal, or Universal One, or whatever, which one it was. He had a deal, and then they gave him a budget for all of the artists. And he took all of the money from all the artists and put it into that P. Diddy and the Family album, and it flopped. They thought that the album was going to sell 7 million like he did No Way Out. But No Way Out had Biggie, and Biggie had just died. So the reason why No Way Out sold as many copies because it was Biggie in the commission, and he was dead. So then they thought he was going to do the same thing again. They gave him the money. He took all of our budget money and put it into that album, and it flopped. Then they dropped him from the label, and then he needed a new label. Then I think he might have went and signed with Warner after that. But after that, he messed up everybody's deal. That's what he did. You know what I'm saying? But those are the things that I think he needs to say, you know, I'm sorry for, you know what I'm saying, messing up your opportunity. And like, even though I move on, I'm not worried about it. I'm happy. I'm happy with where I am in life and everything. But still, I think an apology is old. You know, and I'm grown to where I don't even need the apology. I just want him to know, you know, things that he can do to help people and things he could do to hurt people, and try not to do things to hurt people.
Nobody, to me, and I have to say this, nobody's above scrutiny. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's above scrutiny. I don't give a fuck how much money you make. At the end of the day, when you're hurting people and you're destroying people, that's sucker shit to me. And I'd rather take half the money and all the respect before I take all the money and no respect. And that's Styles P who said that a long time ago.
Yeah, that's him. So today I was just like, man, so many people saying Puff did a great thing doing. I'm like, if he would have did this 20 years ago, 25, 30 years ago, this would be right on point. He doing this now. That's like the cars that we used to drive down the street to and listen to this music, and now it's old. It's like, come on, man. It ain't nothing new about this. What, you gonna put this old song in a new car? Get out of here, man. Yeah, for everybody who think he doing something good, all right, so be it. He ain't doing nothing. Bro, want some in the scope.
He went to Interscope.
Yeah, gave him 10 million. He messed that deal up. Big Gene, you know it. He messed that deal up. And when he messed that deal up, he messed up Sherry Dennis' money. That's why you ain't heard from Sherry Dennis. He messed up my money. That's why you ain't heard nothing from me. He messed up everybody's money.
And the reason why he tried to try to stretch it out, I'm gonna show you. When y'all did the I Need a Girl, he stretched that on Loon album because that was one of the hits that he could scrape up. So what he did was he took a little bit of that marketing budget and put it towards Loon because it had a little bit of traction. And then with, you know what I'm saying, him putting it over there.
He thought Loon was gonna pop. He thought he was gonna get back another Mace with Loon. You know what I'm saying? So I can have that. Puff it seemed like he always trying to do the same thing he already did. Like he want another Biggie. He won another Day 26. He won another everything he already had. And really, if you think about everything that he ever put his hands on that he tried to make, never was successful. But everything that he couldn't help, like Biggie Smalls, he couldn't write Biggie's lyrics. He couldn't write Faith Evans songs. So everybody who already was a star, an entertainer on their own, they was successful. Everybody who listened to Puff say, when he said, do this track and do this, you did it, you didn't even go gold.
50 Cent kind of actually to piggyback off of what you said, 50 Cent said that when he heard that
Strong,
that one particular beat that Drake was on, I forgot what it's called, and he was like, that was a hit, and Drake took that song and actually made it a hit, and you see what it did. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times when you up riding high like that, you on that high level, sometimes you feel like you can't be touched. And I believe that everybody that actually put the work in and put the bricks in, that Bad Boy had a certain sound and had a certain delivery that made Bad Boy unique. And I think that what he did was he thought he was building an empire, and it crumbled because he didn't listen to the very people that actually had the creative artistry talent. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, man, you know, what we do, we call it, you know, sometimes people pee on your back and they tell you it's raining. And you know what I'm saying? It's a smoke in the mirror. Don't fall for that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? To the day when you hear it on the news, they be like, Puff Daddy gave all of his artists $1 million. Now you talking. $1 million.
See, and just to piggyback off of what you said, and this is an elite thing that they all do, the elite do. Notice how when it comes to African Americans with the talents and skills, they always want to give you a piece of paper, a scholarship. But then when it comes to other counterparts, they always want to give them venture capital. That's what we need. We need the venture capital, bro. We need the bread.
We need loans. I even told him,
So,
I told him, instead of giving me my publishing back, let's go buy a couple of houses and let's rehab them and give them away to some families in need. I told him I didn't really want the publisher. I want to do things with money. And then he was like, yo, I asked him, could he invest in this, help me buy a couple of houses to rehab? That didn't work. Why don't you wait until I get done before you start doing this? Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna tell you why it's destiny, because you've been following me for a while. I lost my page. They gave me my page back. And it's funny that you be talking about Black Rob, because my name is actually Robert. You know what I'm saying? And one of my ringtones was that BLACKROB, that song that he did on his album, his last album with Bad Boy. So I know this is destiny. So, and Carl Thomas follow me. A lot of his Bad Boy artists follow me. So,
man, I don't hear nothing from Carl Thomas. I don't hear nothing from Loon. I don't hear nothing from Mace. I talked to Faith Evans. I don't hear nothing from Lil C's. I don't hear nothing from D-Rock. I don't hear nothing, especially from Shawn. Shawn, of all people, shocked me that he now came home and went to prison and still turn around and act like he don't know what happened. Like, for him to not even be like, yo, Curry, I just want to say what up, you know, hello to you, you know, which is nothing wrong, but he feel like that's how everybody is. Everybody just feel, I don't know. Then you see everybody turn to some kind of religion. So something happens with that when you turn to religion. Yeah, it's just a feeling, you know. Especially, I don't know. It's almost like sometimes you might feel God failed you, but you know God don't fail. God don't never fail. So you know, it's just something that you have to go to, and you grow one day and you say, you know what, me thinking God failed me might be the problem. But when I realized that God never failed, and no matter, even if I'm losing, I'm winning, that's when I was able to let all of that and just do what I do and find other ways to create. So every time I build a wall, or every time I do something construction-wise, when I step back and look at it, it makes me feel like I just recorded a hit song.
And let me tell you something.
I got my publisher back.
One of the things that I look at, man, and like I told you, I listened to the album strictly because of you and Black Rob. You know what I'm saying? That I could tell what the talent was. And, you know what I'm saying? One monkey don't stop no show. And what I learned is, a lot of times when you have the money, a lot of people don't have the peace. But you trust me, you got the peace and you definitely got the money coming towards you, and you know how to handle it, because it's gonna make you a more of an appreciative person to when you get that bread. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people evil with money. They don't make them a good person. You know what I'm saying? So I know you.
Money, it's a whole bunch of, almost every person I know that got money is miserable, and a lot of people that you think is miserable is happy. Or you look at it and you say, you know, it's some people out there who got 5 children and they don't have the money. They got 5 children and they do everything they got to do every day to provide for their family. So you be like, if somebody with 5 children can do it, anybody can do it. It's not hard. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at people that got money, they be miserable. And then you got people who got 5 kids and no money and they happy just to see their kids grow. See, it's a difference. When you happy off of seeing other people happy. Like what makes me happy is seeing other people smile. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to be the one with the nicest car or the biggest house. I can just be happy that you my friend and you got it. So I'd be like, as long as he got it and I'm able to come over here and sit down and eat a sandwich and put my feet up on the couch and swim in the pool, all that, that's my crib too. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
But you know, he everything he got is Puff's, and everything he got is too small for him. Like he got a little boat. He got a jet ski boat like the jet ski boat I had. You be like, you know what I'm saying? It's like he got everything that everybody else got. Man. Puff was management and manipulation.
And
Yeah.
let me tell you something, and this is for the artists that are on here that are actually in the music industry. We've seen countless CEOs use that word family. They try to draw you and suck you in their word by being a family, like you're a part of a family. That's all the level and the manipulation tool to get you to sign that paperwork and to get done what they need done for their personal
Pico,
gain.
baby,
Because anytime,
what's going on? The third is in the house.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people come in. I'm gonna get them some. We got to get them some shout outs there.
for
You know
sure,
what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
Pico, baby, what's going on, cuz? Yeah, but anyhow, the Keefy D dude, he talking right now. Keefy D, you know, it's good. You know what I'm saying? It's like when they really get into it and then they start looking at Zip and then they start looking at who Orlando was to Zip and they start putting everything together, they're going to really get a piece of a story. You understand? But I'm not saying Puff had nobody do nothing. We don't know that. But still, there's a lot of truth in what's going on right now. And he ain't really looking, you know what I'm saying? It's cool. You know what I'm saying? And what's good with the words? Yeah, I can't call it Pico. Can I
Man,
get that?
man, let me tell you something. I learned so much from y'all, man. And you know, me being a person that actually wanted to get in the industry and just seeing so much, you know what I'm saying, just vitriol, secret vitriol for each other. It's like it's crazy, man. It's amazing that, you know what I'm saying. And I like the fact that you actually speaking from a heart and you speaking from a wisdom standpoint. That's what a lot of people don't catch. You know what I'm saying?
I sat back, man, for a month of Sundays, man. And this I never let this stuff bother me, man. I felt like, man, if it wasn't for me having a good lady and having a good relationship, I probably would be, you know, one thing about life is making sure you got somebody that believe in you. When you don't have that, life is rough. But, you know, I always was able to make good decisions and stay around people who, you know, that love me. And that's what kept me right. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't have to be on. I watch many nights. I watch them do the Bad Boy Puff Daddy and the family tour and all of this, and I watch it from TV. And people call me like, "Yo, why you not there?" And I wasn't there, and I just sat back and watched it like a fan, and that was it. I ain't get upset. I ain't want to be there because they didn't invite me there. Last time I seen Puff, he was like, "Yo." When I went in, when we was doing Bad Boy for Life, he was like, "Yo, you know, I'm really I'm considering dropping you from the label," and that's what he wanted to do before I did Bad Boy for Life and all of that on the saga continue. Went in there and smashed that album up, but he said he was gonna drop me. In fact, Bad Boy for Life was Black Rob, Puff, and Loon. That was the original Bad Boy for Life song. And then when I came in, my verse was killing, so they took Loon off the song and then they put me on the song. Then he did I Need a Girl with Loon to Ride, Ride, Ride and all of this to give Loon his shine. But when I came in, as soon as I walked in, I was taking niggas off songs.
Man, listen, that blast off, that's one of my
Blast off.
favorites to the man. Where's Diddy? When you know what I'm saying, turn your whole lunch into a murder. Hey man, see,
Yeah.
those are the jewels that nobody even talk about. And I felt like he was one of the top at that time. Could go with the best of them,
Yeah.
especially Black Rob too.
He didn't know what to do with me. He was like he didn't know how to market me and all of this because I was like, you don't have to market me. You know what I'm saying? Let me just be me. He never really did understand me where I came from. Like, but I'm gonna tell y'all some really interesting things on the movie that I'm doing. Right, the movie I got. I'm still waiting on someone that's courageous, has enough guts to say, Curry, I'm gonna stand by you and let's do something phenomenal. Let's do something big. But like in this movie, my grandmother is like the first black lady in New York to ever own a record label. Her name is Zell Sanders. And my father's first wife, her name was, she was 19 when my father, was 19 when he married her. And she had as many hits on the radio as Beyonce in 1954. And then my father met her and gave her 3 kids. And then we all lived, you know, then he met my mom, another wife, but we all lived as one family. But it's a whole story to be told. Like where I lived next door, you know, Sugar Hill Gang and all of them was like my neighbors. Big Bang Hank and them worked at the grocery store. You know what I'm saying? They was my brother's friends, Master G. All of them used to be at Tryon Park. You know, and I mean, it's just a long history, but it's like I go through all of this life, and that's what I really want to get out. That story is you know, true story.
And the reason why I say, man, I hope you put this in maybe a docu-series, you know what I'm saying? Because well, I tell anybody this, anybody when the older people that are wise and stuff, when they pass on, you lose a library of information. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that's where, you know what I'm saying, I think people should actually take heed to the
Kev
elders
get
in the
money.
community and stuff.
I don't
Yeah.
know if Kev got money. I don't know who got the money. Somebody asking the question. I don't know, but Kev got a group out right now. Them young kids are so fire out of Dallas. Follow Kevin Wells on Instagram and look at that group he got. Support that. That's dope. You know, one thing about Kevin has helped so many people in Atlanta. Yo, that's the kind of stuff we should talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like Kevin Wells. You know what I'm saying? Shanti Das. You know, a lot of people who help people's careers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Kevin Wells. Yeah, he did a lot with 112 and Bad Boy. He wrote a lot. I'm sure he wrote some songs and he was due some publishing for his writing, but I hope he did. You know what I'm saying? I hope he got his publishing. I know 112 should have got it, but what is it? You know, Cupid 112 Cupid might be one of the only songs that got some long legs, maybe that they got. You got to have a big song to own publishing and get money from the publishing. Like Biggie would have some publishing. Craig Mack, Flavor in Your Ear, big song. Everything else is not as big as Flavor in Your Ear. Shine, what kind of nigga slinging? That might be his only big song. But that's not something that's gonna get him long publishing. So it's like publishing. It only matters if the song is it got long legs, man.
And,
Other than that, you just
and
got the album song.
And
Yeah,
even Puffy's song, that every breath you take is tied to Sting for life. He has to pay Sting every time that song get played. So you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I mean,
They say he was paying them daily, but you know what I'm saying. I think the total amount that he gave him for that song was like $40-something million so far. Is what he gave him for using that song. You know what I'm saying? What up, official verse music, Versey music. What up, though? Peace and blessings. Yes, that's a lot of people in here, man. Yo, you know what?
see,
I want to monetize and make money off of this stuff like everybody else.
man,
You know,
listen, man. I appreciate you for having me on, bro. Because let me tell you something. It was like I say, it's pure destiny. And you know what you're talking about is, you know what I'm saying? It's a jewels that people can pick up and use. So
Yeah, man. I appreciate you, man, for even jumping on here with me. You understand? I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Who want to jump on next? Somebody else to get on. Let's roll. Send a request.